Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. So there's been a major accident reported at Hong Kong International Airport involving an Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK9788, which is a wet leased 747-400 owned by a Turkish cargo airliner called Cargo. So this flight was scheduled from Dubai World Central's Al Maktoum International Airport to Hong Kong International Airport. So according to the reports, they stated that there were 4 crew members on the Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK9788. So while EK9788 was on finals via runway 07 left at Hong Kong, first the landing went smoothly, and then for some unknown reason during the landing sequence, the plane suddenly veered off from the runway, like it spun around violently and then smashed into the airport fence and impacted into the sea. There were other reports also claimed that there was a patrol vehicle which was stationary near to the airport fence, and they stated that the plane smashed the patrol vehicle while it was spinning around, and during that impact, the patrol vehicle was being dragged alongside with it and impacted into the sea, where there were 2 security officers were on board that vehicle. So now let's understand the sequence of events, how exactly went wrong on the landing of Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK Flight 9788. So without further ado, let's get into this deep analysis video right away. Alright guys, so as you can see on my screen, so this is the Emirates SkyCargo's wet leased Boeing 747-400 passenger to freighter converted aircraft registered as Tango Charlie Alpha Charlie Foxtrot. So basically this wet leased 747 was actually owned by a Turkish cargo airline operator called as Cargo. Right. So speaking about this aircraft profile itself, so it was produced in May 1993 with its MSN registration as 25645, and its airframe age is over 32 years old. It's a very old airframe which is about to near to its scrapping period. Right. So this 747 is powered by 4 General Electric CF680C2 engines with a thrust range between 58,000 to 59,000 pounds of force. And moreover, since this is a passenger to converted freighter aircraft, so basically its cargo capacity will be ranging between 118,000 kilos to 119,000 kilos. Right. So based on this particular airframe, it first started as a passenger operations with its first delivery to ANA Japan Airlines back in June 1993. With its special Pokemon style livery, which you can see on your pictures right on your screen right there. Then back in 2011, after completing its final passenger service for ANA, they transferred to GCAS in Ireland for its conversion from passenger to freighter, and then operated with several other cargo operator airlines like Magma Air, and then Saudi Arabian Airlines, and then also Cargo. Then finally, Emirates SkyCargo came into the picture to take a wet leased 747 BCF from Cargo as of today. Alright, so now let's get into the Flightradar24 data of Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK9788 to understand its sequence of events. Alright guys, so as you can see on my screen, so this is the Flightradar24 data of Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK9788 bound from Dubai's World Central Al Maktoum International Airport to Hong Kong's new airport. So let me zoom into you where the plane took off, because I know that you guys might be confusing that is it Dubai International Airport or Dubai World Central. So this is what you can see here. This is the Dubai World Central. This is Al Maktoum. So this is where usually Dubai Air Show will be hosted every year here, and the one on, if I can scroll right here, so you might be thinking where Dubai Airport is. This is Dubai International Airport, specifically used for only for passenger flights only. Right. Now let's scroll up and we'll head towards Hong Kong now. And let me show you the graph here also at the first initial stages of the flight. So far there's no hiccups again, so it's a very normal cruise flight. It's a 6-hour long flight here, right? So now let's zoom in towards Hong Kong, because this is where things are about to get very interesting and very puzzling as well, to understand what exactly went wrong. So let me play this clip right here. So at 7:40 p.m. UTC, that means in Hong Kong it will be a very early morning at around 3 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. There. So when this plane was on final approach via runway 07 left, you can see that the speed and altitude is descending at a very slow and steady pace with 138 knots, and then slowly again here from some reason the plane veered off from the runway. Uh, this is the moment again I want to rewind it back and show it to you, the sequence of the landing. So let's play it here from 1000 feet, 900 feet. So slow and steadily it landed safely. Again, the speeds are also, if you have noticed, the speeds were just stable speeds at 136 knots. So it's a very slow and easy approach there at Hong Kong. And again, if I can zoom in right here, this is the exact moment where we do not know exactly what went wrong and how the plane veered off from the runway. And this is the exact moment where that plane just spun around like this, like 180-degree turn, and then slammed through to the airport fence and impacted through to this seawall just right over here. And many people are still believing that there was a petrol vehicle on the runway. Actually, there is no petrol vehicle on the runway, but what they're telling is that there was a petrol vehicle, which is an airport petrol vehicle, was stationary just right up here on this road, just near to the airport fence. So like I told you at the start, that when the plane was on 180-degree spin, so it impacted with the petrol vehicle first and then dragged that vehicle alongside with the plane into the sea just right over here, where two security officials were on board that vehicle. So it was a very tragic after all, but however it's very mysteriously to understand how the plane just veered off from the runway. And additionally, let me also show you the Flightradar24's METAR or weather data during the time of that accident. Let me show you that as well. All right, guys. So this is the weather reports of the Hong Kong International Airport via Flightradar24, as you can see here. So today is day 20th, and the time is at 7:30 UTC. That means 3 a.m. in Hong Kong time. So you can see here the wind direction is 20 degrees, wind speed is 11 knots, 28 degrees Celsius at temperature. Dew point is at 20 degrees, pressure is at 1010 HPA, and visibility is 9999 meters. So overall, it looks like it's a very favorable to even land and take off safely. And even you can also see the footage of the post crash of the Emirates SkyCargo flight. Also, you can see on the background that the weather also looks very normal and favorable too. So now let's get into that post-crash footage of Emirates flight EK9788. Alright guys, so this is the post-crash footage of the Emirates SkyCargo flight EK9788 at Hong Kong. So let's play the footage. You can clearly see that the fuselage is broken in half, it's partially sunk. The right wing is missing right here, and also let me pause this footage here. The emergency sliders were not properly inflated. The front section is completely destroyed. The front landing gear is shattered completely because of the severe impact. And let's continue the footage here. You can clearly see from this angle, the left side emergency slider is properly deployed, and that's where the 4 crew luckily escaped from this horrible accident. Imagine if this is a passenger plane with multiple souls on board, then the scale of this tragedy like this could be absolutely be described it to be as the deadliest accident in aviation history at Hong Kong context. So Luckily, there are no passengers, it's just cargo. So it's a fortunate that this was a miraculous incident, but the damage is too extensive at this angle. So there's another footage from one of the rescuers at a closer view. So let me show you that clip as well. All right, guys, as you can see on my screen, so this is another footage from one of the rescuers showing the aftermath of the Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK9788. This time at the left side view, you can clearly see that the emergency sliders were properly inflated, and that's where four crew luckily escaped. And the wings, especially, you can see, especially the engines were submerged. The flaps, spoilers, slats, they're all been destroyed during the impact. I think this is a very, very major impact right here if you look into this angle. So let's play the footage here. You can see the fuselage is partially sunk, and again you can see this is the tail section of the 747. That's why in the previous footage it wasn't there, but this is how it looks like. Some of the cargo is still inside the fuselage of the 747 right there, and again, if you can see, that's the wingtip of the 747 just clinging on to the seawall of this place. I mean, I should say this is by far the most miraculous moment for the poor crew, even at this very, very devastating crash like this. But like I told you previously, that if this is a passenger plane with multiple people on board, the scale of the tragedy is so unimaginable. But yeah, it's so horrible to see this view, especially breaking up like this is so. I mean, it's very hard landing, but again, we have to wait from the investigators to understand what exactly happened. So by looking at this footage, it reminds me back in 1993 involving China Airlines flight 605, which is also a Boeing 747. So this flight was carrying 294 passengers on board. So it was a scheduled international flight from Taiwan's capital Taipei to Hong Kong. So at that time, Hong Kong was using the Kai Tak airport. Many people described it as the most notorious and dangerous airports in the world. So usually planes would make a visual approach by turning the plane to the right side and then just very close to the city center. So it was so dangerous approach from many pilots who used that maneuver. So at that time, it was raining very heavily at Hong Kong, and so when they were making the final approach, the touchdown was smooth and simple. But however, the runway was very wet, and the pilots started to struggling so much by applying more amount of brakes. So the plane wasn't even stopping properly. They deployed spoilers, they deployed reversers, but however, it wasn't stopping a lot. So by the time it was too late, the plane veered off from the runway and crash landed into the sea. So the fuselage was completely intact, the emergency sliders were deployed, and miraculously 24 passengers were injured, but however everyone evacuated safely. So in the wake of the Kai Tak incident, many of the airlines are demanding the Hong Kong authorities, including the Chinese authorities, to build a new airport and not to risk their lives with a landing approach. I think that was not the easiest approach at all. Even I can show you the picture of how Kai Tak Airport's approach used to be like, just right up on your screen right there. So that's the result. The Chinese authorities decided to build a new Hong Kong airport by handling both passengers and board cargo operations. So now Hong Kong Airport operates three runways. Two runways are for passengers coming and going, and then the third runway is specifically used for cargo flights. And even though Hong Kong is by far the most busiest hubs of cargo terminals, it's the second busiest hubs if you compare to Leipzig in Germany, right? So this is the most busiest hub of all. Recently, I have seen one of the research reports stating that Hong Kong imports and exports via air cargo operations were dramatically risen up to 429,000. That means it's much larger volume. So the air cargo demand has been increased dramatically in Hong Kong. That's why every time when you visit a Hong Kong airport, you see more amount of cargo flights, either from DHL or either from FedEx or even Emirates SkyCargo or Air Act Cargo. Such type of planes you can do for nice plane spotting if you're Hong Kongers watching it. So yeah, but the incident like this, what I've seen, the footage, I was initially worried that there may be any casualties or not. But again, like I told you, it's a miraculous moment. But one thing we need to determine is that what exactly went wrong here. So we only think that either if it is a landing gear malfunction, whether the plane made a hard landing or not, or if there is a crew error, or if there is a mechanical failure, especially with the engines. Again, it will be all hands to the investigators to get the results as soon as possible with the preliminary report, which generally takes 1 month or so to get the update. So unfortunately, there was news just came up that 2 airport security officers died instantly when the 747, while spinning out of control, slammed into their vehicle and then crashed into the sea. So that's where one security officer's body was found into the sea, and the second security officer was heavily injured, taken to hospital, but later confirmed dead. So my thoughts and deepest condolences to those security officers who died in this horrible tragedy. So this is my take on the sequence of events of Emirates SkyCargo Flight EK9788. Until the preliminary reports are released, we only just think about only theoretical situations. But once again, I would like to advise to all content creators that please do not make your thoughts as a conclusive facts in any video you are trying to publish it, because it will create disinformation to the public, and it will demoralize when it comes to what is right and what is wrong here. So I advise you guys, please cooperate with the investigators until they provide information. Only then you can publish it, right? So this is it, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. So we'll see you again in the next one. Until then, guys, fast flights and soft landings.